Hey, kids, how would you like to hear this on the screen instead of the great show you came to see? That's what you sound like. Honest. Please cooperate and do your part in keeping this theater quiet so everyone, including you, can enjoy it.
I feel it already. I feel hyped already. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Oh my God, no, Adam.
It is 8 o'clock p.m. Mountain Time. It is a Tuesday night, which means it's time for the DNBA show on DNVR Nuggets. Coming to you on YouTube, Facebook, Periscope. I'm your host on Tuesdays and Thursdays, Brendan Vogt. Joining me, hosting the rest of the week, but not tonight, it's Adam Maras.
I guess I get my own air horn now.
Oh, that reminds me. This podcast it's brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook. I think another air horn is.
Oh yeah.
Below us, it's Eric Weedham. You know him as D-Lenko. Eric, what's up, brother?
Yo, do I get an air horn or just is it you? All right. Well, let's go, guys. Let's go. I'm so ready.
We've got a fun show planned. We've got a hypecast
Fun.
planned. But first, I got to hype myself. It was redemption time on NBA 2K tonight with Doug Malone and the DNVR Nuggets. I rocked the Rockets. No pun intended.
Oh, hell yeah.
And,
it was pretty close. I was watching.
I won by like 6. Bol Bol played. It was great.
How did he do?
Not great. He's still 74 overall. But I cheated. I changed his potential to 99, which is the right thing to do.
Sure.
So over time, that should really pay dividends. I lost to the Lakers. A game-winning shot from Doug Malone. A 3 as time expired went in and out.
Unbelievable.
Hey, we're back on the right track.
Yeah, what a shame. So 1 and 2. You know what? You're on the right track, though. Did you see I don't know if you saw this, but people on Twitter said we should fire you. Should you lose 5 if you started 0-5?
I respectfully disagree, but you guys are the bosses. So.
Well, I wouldn't even say that he's on the right track. He lost his last game, so he's.
Okay, hold on though. I'm trending up because in week 1 I lost by 20 twice in a row, so I didn't embarrass myself.
So are you 1 and 3 on the season?
Well, in manually played games, the Nuggets are 11 and 7. Though. We're going to the playoffs, bro. Don't trip. I also may have changed the simulation difficulty to 0.
Nice.
Neither confirmed nor denied. But if you've seen these simulations, if you've seen Doug Malone, you know what he looks like. In my opinion, it's a great look. Strapping young man, perfect, big, beautiful afro. But hang on. Afro. That's the key word of the day. Does that spark it? That's ringing a bell for
my goodness.
Look at this.
God.
Incredible.
Jamal Murray, clearly a Twitcher, a big fan of Doug Malone.
You inspired him. You're taking credit here.
This is an incredible look, all jokes aside. So we're going to go Project Barbershop here, Eric.
Wow.
Okay. Project Barbershop.
You're our Nina Garcia.
Sure.
Jamal with the fro. What do you think, bro?
I mean, what other answer is there besides that is glorious? He looks incredible. He looks like the problem here is that he's done this before. He's picked his hair like this before, so he could easily be doing a little bait and switch on us.
No way.
I'm not ready to commit to it because I love it so much that I'm not ready to believe deep in my heart that this is how Jamal's going to be wearing his hair. But wow.
Yeah. It's honestly his look. I feel like this is a great, at least for this like early part of his career. I think he has to give this a couple year run.
Can we get that back up, Kale? I want to look at that again.
Yeah. So I'm going to be really disappointed if he doesn't look like this on the court. Like it's a great Instagram photo, but I think that this is maybe Jamal Murray's path to becoming more loved.
Oh, 100%.
And I think this is a guy who loves to be a villain. We love him here in Denver. A lot of fan bases don't dig him. But if he goes full fro, if he's wearing an afro and he averages 20-plus points per game in the bubble, he's a national darling.
Yeah.
Is that, dude? Am I watching a new nickname, Dr. J, Dr. JM?
I'm gonna workshop that. That was a little forced. I don't know if I love that one.
Well, I just mean like, that one's not great, but he's Dr. Jamal something. My God,
keep working on it.
It looks like he looks like he could be in an ad for the Converse What is it, the assassin or whatever?
He teased this with a black and white picture on his IG of some hair clippings on the ground. Mortified me because I'm a huge fan of this.
Yeah.
This person of the earth from underground look he's got going on. And I thought he had gone clean shaven, and I was not having it. But this is a great turn of events.
I think this actually has been in the works. When he was playing golf the other day, he had an afro pick in his hair the entire time.
Right,
yeah.
So like he's been like this is not. He didn't just come along with this. This has been in the works, and I applaud him for it, and I love it. I love it so much.
Spending a lot of time shirtless, Jamal Murray.
I know.
I guess I would too. If I
Dude, I just came up with another new nickname, Swole Daddy. What do you think?
All right, we're out of nicknames for today. Here's the thing, though, is if he comes out and just totally bombs like the first 2 or 3 games, the afro might go.
Yeah.
You don't stick with a new bold haircut if it's like 3-4 games in a row where you're not good. It's like, okay, it's the hair, and you got to get out of there.
Then you have to shave it.
Screw you, Omar.
That will be this year's switching Gary onto Derek adjustment. Like, all right, Jamal's struggling, cut his hair.
Yeah. That would be amazing if they really started to adopt those beliefs into the Nugget system. They're like, man, I don't know, MPJ's not really getting the minutes. Maybe if we shave his head and get him right back in.
Hey, haircut Jokic, we know it works.
True. What am I talking about? We know it works.
What else we got?
We've got a real news update, and it's good news, guys. Our own, well, not ours, our buddy, our peer, Mike Singer of the Denver Post, reporting that Gary Harris and Torrey Craig are cleared. They're just awaiting a cardiac test. To be clear, they're waiting to take the test. They're not awaiting results. Right. So, yeah, it looks like Gary and Torrey are going to be with the team. All is well in Denver so far. Exciting stuff. Oh, wait, no. Hold on.
Yeah, hold on. They're still missing a bunch of players, but it is nice. Like, I put this out today in a column up on the DNVR.com. Like, players trickling in this week. I expected. The Nuggets now are up to, I believe, 12 players inside the bubble. I know if they can now run a 5-on-5 scrimmage, which I think would be nice. But no, I mean at least now they have enough players that, as much as I would love Monte, PJ Dozier, and MPJ to get there, if they didn't, I would still feel like, the Nuggets can throw out a product that they can at least be competitive with, which I mean, honestly, for a second there, I was starting to worry. I mean,
look,
it's just going to get weird.
The longer it takes, you know what I mean, and the longer guys are going to wait to get involved. So, I was definitely nervous, but I'm feeling
still
better
nervous.
Now. So I was wondering. It does seem like the Nuggets are saying that this idea of 9 active players for the scrimmage as opposed to 10, just precautionary. So you don't want to do too much speculation, but I was wondering if there's any chance it could be Yoke, and that it's not about an injury thing, but just hey, like we don't feel inclined to rush him into a game environment right now.
The only reason I'd say no is because today at his media availability, he mentioned, I don't know how many minutes I'm going to play tomorrow.
That's
so,
right.
Which implies it's more than 0.
Or that it's 0.
But if it was a selected one, you would think they would sit one of the bigs because they have so many of them. I mean, sitting one of the bigs would make it a little easier to fit players into natural spots. But sadly, I think the detectives on Reddit have solved this case. I shouldn't say solve it. They have strong evidence that maybe it's Will Barton who's been absent in a lot of these videos so far.
Which is a bummer. I mean, I'm sure he's fine, but I was just banking on this idea of Will Barton being a guy that really benefited from this rest. I thought he looked a little tired in March, so probably just precautionary. Definitely the right move if you're concerned at all. But yeah, I mean, you'd of course like to see everyone going full speed. So it's MPJ and Monte are the notable names that we think have yet to arrive. That's correct?
PJ Dozier.
PJ Dozier as well.
Vlatko, right?
So I mean, look, MPJ and Monte is an important piece in the regular season. How much does a backup ball handler play in the playoffs? How much would Malone play MPJ anyway? So like the
not
team
now though. That's one thing I was thinking about. It's like at some point it's like, hey, we wanted to play him, but he didn't arrive on time. I really wonder. Honestly, there is something to that, and it's not even. You can't even fault Malone if MPJ arrives next Wednesday and they have a game on Saturday. I mean, of course he's not going to play.
Right. So yeah, I mean, but you do, like you said, there's like sort of a foundation of enough key guys are there that I'm definitely not in panic mode about what's to come. Yeah. So we're gonna get to the tease on tonight's show. we really do want to get into this hypecast. That'll be some unofficial segment 2 stuff. But before we do, we've got some more news, not Denver related.
Oh.
And this comes to us from Sean Strania of The Athletic. NBA/Timberwolves legend Kevin Garnett and a group of investors are seriously interested in and exploring a bid for the Minnesota Timberwolves. Glenn Taylor, of course, it came out that the team is for sale. So I'll just start with you guys. I mean, this is kind of awesome, right? The idea of Kevin Garnett coming back to Minnesota, owning a team. Are you in on this, Adam?
I'd have to know more of the terms of the deal, because I remember when Jay-Z owned the Nets, there was an owner, and then it came out that he had like $100,000 worth of stake in it, and it was like, okay, he owns a little bit more than I do, I guess.
Right.
So it would depend on that. Sometimes, you put these groups together and you'll get some names on there to kind of make the just for exactly what we're talking about. So it sounds like, yeah, I would love for Kevin Garnett to get a piece of it. So I just would have to see the terms and who else was involved.
Eric, does this excite you at all, the idea of Kevin Garnett?
No. I mean, no, not really. I mean, the owner has unless it's Mark Cuban or like one of these like guys that make themselves like an actual character in the show. Yeah,
I would get Juancho back, by the way.
Yeah,
the first thing I would do as owner would be like, you know what, we're trading Juancho to Denver.
Well, I put this out on Twitter. I feel like the Kroenke should buy the Timberwolves and just call them the Nuggets also, and then we can take the best pieces. We can treat one. We can treat the Minnesota team as our G League team that we don't have. Like that would be amazing, right?
So my first thought when I saw the team was up for sale was, if this is sold, if this changes hands, does this team maybe get moved to Seattle, or are some tectonic shifts in play there? But Kevin Garnett tweeted earlier tonight, my passion for the Minnesota Timberwolves to be a championship team is well known, but I have a deeper affection for the city of Minneapolis. I once again want to see the city as the diverse and loving community I know it is. So if cool. It sounds like if it were to go to the hands of Kevin Garnett and his group, that ownership group, they would be sticking around in Minnesota.
That's cool. That would be horrible. I didn't even consider that Minneapolis could end up losing its team. I mean, that would be good if it went to Seattle, but that would suck if it just. I mean, I hope that Seattle gets a team through expansion, not through just moving from another. Yeah.
What was that, Mars?
No, I agree, but Minneapolis is a cool city. Like, it's not. I mean, I've enjoyed my time, my two visits to Minneapolis.
Okay, see, there you go. So that's encouraging. I think it's a highly underrated city. If you can go in the summer, you should. Really beautiful, really clean.
People always compare it to Denver, like very often.
I could see that.
And a lot of some good sports teams. So yeah, definitely an underrated city. Okay, let's move along. There is a scrimmage tomorrow night, guys. The Denver Nuggets are going to play a basketball game. Adam, how excited are you on a scale of 1 to 10?
A 10. I'm incredible. I mean, we've been talking about this for like 3 or 4 days because it keeps getting closer and closer. But
3 or 4 months.
I mean, we are now like. I mean, we're gonna go to sleep. So that's like 8 of the hours, 7 of the hours. Then we're gonna wake up and like eat breakfast. That's all right. And then the game's gonna be here. So like we're really, this is among the last things we will do before the game gets here. And I can't wait. Cleared out the whole schedule. Gonna be watching at the DNVR bar. We're not open, but I'll be there. I can't wait.
Yeah,
Eric,
that's exactly.
Scrimmage.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, I was saying, Adam, that's exactly how you explain to a 3-year-old why they can't open that big box under the tree just yet. Like you're like, we're one sleep away.
Yeah, you gotta sleep.
I don't know. I honestly don't know what to do with myself. Like I can't even. I can't acknowledge it as real. Like I don't. It seems like an odd idea that I get to watch the Nuggets play basketball again.
Let me be clear. If Bol Bol was not with the team right now, I would be like a 4 because look, Jokic's not going to play that much. I don't think Jamal Murray's not going to play that much. The game doesn't mean anything. Like I would be down there. But we're going to see Bol Bol play for the first time since the G League. And even in the G League, we barely got to see him play. So actually getting to see just what he looks like, I mean, I feel like part of why we're doing the Hypecast today and in segment 2 is because tomorrow our takes might have to be a little bit more grounded. Right now, Bol Bol could be anything, so my takes could be crazy.
Yeah, once the season starts, you put that analyst cap on. But right now, I mean, it's just more fun to embrace it. Is there anything to watch for? I mean, the Bol Bol thing, it's been covered. But is there a dynamic, a player, anything else in this game that you're looking for, Adam?
Of course, I've got a whole list of them. I mean, so number one, skinny Jokic. Like, I know this is a little thing, and I'm really extrapolating a lot off of this detail, but we've seen Jokic skinny, before on all this. But when they were showing some clips of him just off the dribble, attacking as like a perimeter player and just making quick moves. I want to see if he's sort of trying some new things. If you think about it, players never get to deviate that far from their role. Once they're in the pipeline, it's like, okay, you're a center, you do some things. Like, oh, we're going to let you handle the ball and pick and roll sometimes now. Like, okay, that's cute. But right now, the Nuggets have 4 centers, 2 power forwards, and another small forward on the roster. That Jokic gets to play true point guard right now in practice. So I want to see him play true point guard tomorrow night, even if it's just for a few minutes. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about a half dozen other things as well.
Yeah, over the course of the last few years, we've been wondering what it might take or if Michael Malone would ever play small. Well, tomorrow night we might see him play tall in a way that he or the Nuggets or other teams really haven't.
There's no might about it. He can't not play tall. The Nuggets are going to play tall. I mean, one of Jeremy Grant, or maybe both of Jeremy Grant, Bol Bol, Paul Millsap are going to be playing small forward tomorrow. Like at least one, if not all of them at some point. So, yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be weird. Nuggets are probably going to lose by 30. It'll be great.
I guess I should say, if you don't know, they're playing the Washington Wizards. The result really, really doesn't matter. Yeah. But let's run through some possibilities, guys. I got a little mini over-under game set up for you here.
Okay.
If you're ready to go.
Right,
I am ready.
So let's go. Let's start with this. Nikola Jokic minutes, 18.5 over-under.
Man, that's such a perfect line. That's a perfect line. I'm going to go under. He's only been there for a few days. I think he's going to play about 18 minutes. So that was a great line.
Thanks.
Very good.
Thanks. I've been thinking about that for a couple of hours.
I'm going to go over. I think he gets 20 minutes in it. At least 20. I can't wait to see how everything that we have surmised about his weight loss and what it means as far as like his movability in on the block and whether or not that's going to affect his defense, et cetera, et cetera. Like, I just can't. There's so much theory that we have put out into the world that I cannot wait to see actually put into real form. To see I don't know. I mean, we've just been talking hypotheticals for 4 months.
I'm going to take the under because I'm rooting for the under because I want Jokic to stay healthy, but also I want as much Bol Bol as possible. I don't know. I guess I don't even know what position he's going to play at this point. But yeah, 18
They're
minutes.
They're both small forwards.
Is definitely, I think, probably the line for that. So we'll stick with Jokic. What about assists? Adam, I know you don't think he's going to play a lot.
Can I give you guys the half-court heave right off the bat? You can cue up a half-court heave, Kale. I've got a half-court heave. I planned to come in with this today. Jokic is going to play fewer than 20 minutes, but will either score 20 points or have 10 assists. I don't know which one. Depends on how they're going to guard him, what's going to happen. Here's why. I know that's crazy, but here's why. Who's going to shoot the ball in this team? There's almost nobody. Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic, and then it's a bunch of just guys that never operate with a green light. Who's going to play make on this team? There's Jamal Murray. Who's the next best play? If Will Barton doesn't play, I don't know who the next best guard creator is. I think they're going to be running through Jokic every single time, and I think he's going to put up a pretty funny stat line for a guy that plays exactly 18 minutes.
What do you think, Eric? I had the line at assists at 3.5.
3.5.
So I went 10.
10?
Yeah. I mean, I think he'll probably have he'll have less than 10. That's too many. This is ridiculous. He'll probably have 5.
That'd be so great.
So that's over, though. That's the over. That's the over, baby.
He's come up a lot on this show the last couple of episodes. Jamal Murray, points, 14.5, over under.
We got this graphic too. Jamal Murray point 14.5.
Yeah.
Over. Again, who's going to shoot the basketball? Vonleh doesn't have a green light. None of these guys have ever had a green light. I'm going over.
Yeah, I'm going to shoot 1,000 times.
I'm going over too. We're entering the golden era of Jamal. I'm saying everything I see from Jamal, I just get more and more excited. We're going to see the evolution of Jamal. It's going to happen in front of our eyes over the next few games.
All right. All right.
Basketball's all about confidence, and how could you not be confident with
Dude,
that?
I'm confident. I'm confident.
Yeah, you're right. I'm taking the overs simply because of the afro. Okay, Bol Bol points. Bol Bol points.
Ooh.
10.5.
Ooh. Adam, what do you think?
I'm going to go under. In part because I have a feeling this is going to be a classic, mild. This is going to be a classic Malone.
Yeah, it is.
You know what? Bol Bol plays 4 minutes, and it's like, oh, God. Okay, somehow he only got in at garbage time of the scrimmage with only 9 guys.
Yeah.
I'm going to go under, but we'll see. We'll see.
God, what if he scores like 25 points or like some insane number? It's definitely going to be under. There's no way that we're going to be given that like delicious of a treat from the universe. But
I'm sorry. I thought this was a hypecast.
Oh, I mean, over.
Are you kidding
And you know what? It doesn't even work this way, but it's my DraftKings pick of the week.
Whoa!
Insane.
The air horns really do add such a layer. Okay, next one. Rage timeouts, 1.5.
Oh, jeez.
Over or under?
You know, I have a theory. I'm going to go. Not only am I going to go under on this, I think Malone's going to have a dozen or fewer total rage timeouts in Orlando.
Dude, he's in full chillaxing mode. Like he's too chill to be angry. You know what he's gonna do? He turned the page. He's gonna have he's gonna tossed. He's gonna have 0 rage timeout. He's gonna have a bunch of like positive reinforcement timeouts where he calmly asks the ref for time, and then he brings the player over and they talk it out and they have a heart-to-heart. It's a whole new day, Brendan. You don't understand.
So Malone is very aware that, the player, this is going to be a very stressful couple of months for the players. Like emotionally, it's going to be draining. So he's already aware. He said that focusing on fun. But also, this arena is going to be so quiet that every coach is going to have to they're going to be so self-conscious. It's a loud arena and you're yelling at the ref. It doesn't sound like that. But now you're yelling and everybody can hear you. It's going to be okay.
They call that the D-line effect, when we're indoors watching a game.
So, I think he's going to call a lot of rage timeouts. I think he's going to get to Orlando and he's be like, wow, these guys haven't played in 130 days. This looks terrible. And he's going to scream his little head off. Millsap points. This is a weird line.
Ooh.
9.5 over under.
Ooh, that is a good one. I think he's going to play very little. I'm going to go over though, because again, somebody has to score. Jokic, Murray, they're going to get the ball. Somebody else has to score.
Man, I wanted to say over. We can't keep having the same one. Yeah, he's definitely going to go. I mean, there's no players. There's no play. People have to play this game. So they can't rest everybody. And I can't
wait for Vonleh to have 32.
Oh my God!
I'm on Vonleh watch right now, man.
Yo, what if after this game tomorrow we're completely off of Bol Bol and MPJ and it's all Vonleh from here on out?
The truth is, you need to merge the two players. That's really what you need. You need Bol Bol's height and skill with Vonleh's arms.
Yeah, can you do that? Is that?
I don't think you can.
Oh, okay.
Through modern science and power,
anything's
possible.
Anything possible in the bubble.
Final over/under. Troy Daniels threes, 1.5.
Ooh, I love over. He's gonna. I mean, he actually might be the best. Yeah, Troy Daniels leading scorer. I like that take. If you were trying to get crazy, that would be a great take. 3 guards: Barton, Murray, and Troy Daniels. Barton might not play. There's a chance Daniels plays 40 minutes tomorrow.
You're right. You're right. I didn't think about that at all.
If Barton doesn't play, every minute that Daniels does not play or Murray does not play means that Tyler Cook is your shortest player on the court. Come on, man. It's going to be so weird.
It's going to be weird as hell.
Yes.
It's going to be so clunky.
Yes, it's definitely going to be over. I told you this is going to be the time when he comes out to shine. You guys made fun of me, but now you're on you're with me.
You know what? That's my other half-court heave. Tomorrow, the Nuggets fan base is going to be hyping Troy Daniels.
I'll get the graphic ready right now. I'm going to start it right now.
All right, well, I was going to stretch this for as long as I could because this show's going quick, but hey, I think there were people here early for a reason, folks. There's a lot of you watching on YouTube, and I think it's because you wanted to see us have this discussion. It's the title of the episode.
Whoa.
The meat on the bone. The question, to put it simply, Adam, what happens if Michael Porter Jr. and Bol Bol hit their ceilings?
You guys know I don't like to live in hyperbole.
Yeah.
You guys know that I'm extremely grounded when it comes to my Denver Nuggets takes.
That's what we like about you.
If both of those, first of all, I have said if Michael Porter Jr. hits his ceiling, I think he can be a top 10 player in the NBA. Jokic, I believe, is already a top 10 player in the NBA. I think Jamal Murray's a top 30, 35 player in the NBA and getting better every day. So automatically right there, I think you have a legitimate title contender. Not the team you have now where it's like, okay, if things break right, they could win. I'm saying that they are one of the three teams that you talk about that say that team has a chance. But if you add Bol Bol, 7 feet 2 inches, can block a ton of shots, can shoot the three maybe as well as anybody on the team, can put the ball on the floor, can handle, maybe can throw these one-handed passes. What are we talking about, guys? We are talking about a dynasty. There it is. We are talking, look at this thing.
Unbelievable.
Hot box. That's the steam coming out of this box. Are you kidding me? If Michael Porter Jr., Jokic, and Bol Bol all become the best versions of themselves, are you kidding me? Name another team that has three players that have that unique and high ceilings with unique skill sets. There isn't one.
Look, I'm going to let one of my idols do this one for me.
Oh, here it is. Oh, yeah, good thing we didn't get the audio. Oh, look at this, Gil. Oh, my goodness. Wow, not 2, not 3. Oh, man, Gil.
Did the audio not go through? Damn.
The audio did not. Was that you? That was vote? Oh, I wrongfully blamed Kale.
That was hype. That was hype right there.
I was excited for that drop, too.
But let's be serious for a moment here because we're joking, but we've actually been talking about this for a while. When Bol Bol got drafted, much like last year with MPJ, the only times we talked about him were sort of casually, right? He's theoretical. But last year, once the hype started coming out about MPJ and the players were all talking about what a special kid he is and oh my God, he dominates sometimes in practice and, so unique. Then we saw that it was true. With Bol Bol, we're getting those exact same reports. So why can't we live in a universe where Jamal Murray is better than he is now and those three players make up the other three guys are actually all better than him and become the third, fourth, first, second, and third best player on the team? They're unstoppable. They really are an unstoppable team. I can't imagine any other group of players that would reach that ceiling. Maybe New Orleans is the closest one, but even then, I'm telling you, three players of that caliber.
Yeah, I mean, the follow-up question would have to be, when do they hit their ceilings, right? But if there's a world in which these guys are approaching that before you've had to pay them, while you haven't had to trade Jamal Murray, I've always felt like, I think if MPJ hits his ceiling, Jamal Murray's your third best player. If Jamal Murray's your third best player, with those two guys, you can win a title.
Yeah, for sure.
If you add a fourth guy into that mix, and it's not just a guy, right, with Bol Bol, it's, well, sometimes you want a rim protector next to Jokic. Well, he's got the length. You need a guy who stretches the floor with Jokic. Well, he can do that. You have MPJ, who's 6'10", I would say 6'11" at the 3. If you're going to mess around with Bol Bol at the 4, and then your 0.7-foot center, this isn't just a lot of talent. This is a matchup nightmare for which there are little to no answers.
No, there are no answers. There's no answers there. I mean, that's the thing about it, is it's not just that you have three talented players. It's that you have three talented players that physically are so unique that every team is lucky if they have one guy that's they're strong enough to handle Jokic and quick enough to move with him on the perimeter, or they're tall enough to guard MPJ's shot. There's no team that has three of those guys. That's what's so intriguing, I think, about specifically those three guys.
Yeah, oh my God, I'm it's hard to even imagine what that looks like. It's hard to even imagine because sometimes during the season when you start to feel really confident, you go into a game and you're like, oh, we're gonna roll this team, whatever it is. Imagine feeling like that literally every night, regardless of who it is that you're going up against. Where you're like, I don't even know if I can see a world in which Bol Bol is a starting player in the NBA. To me, it seems like he's just you bring him off the bench exactly like you're talking about. He just becomes an immediate matchup nightmare. He throws the other team in complete chaos. They're just scrambling to try and figure out when to switch, where to switch. Then the ball's popping. What are we doing? Just end the game.
Let me interrupt this real quick because talking about a player that is completely theoretical, I know can sound absurd, but let me tell you why a couple of reasons why I'm buying the hype, at least right now. Again, we'll find out. We're going to get to watch him with our own eyes tomorrow. But why I'm buying the hype here, we started hearing the same stuff like we heard with Michael Porter Jr. last year. Players, coaches, they're starting to get all these little reports coming out. But here's what really got me: this Instagram from Will Barton where he says, "Invest in this stock now before it's too late." Bol Bol, totally different. Now, that's just a player hyping up his teammate, right?
Who are the last two guys Will said that about, though?
But that's the thing. So number one, Will Barton was the first guy on the Nikola Jokic bandwagon. He used to call himself Kobe and Shaq when they'd come off the bench. He was like his hype man. He was like the Jokic hype man because he was the first guy to recognize the talent. But more important than that, and Vote, you can speak to this, Will Barton is not an exaggerator. Will Barton is not a guy who doesn't give props to people that don't deserve him. He's not a guy that's like, oh, I'm teammates with this guy now, so I'm going to say this thing about him because I think DeMar DeRozan's the best player in the world. Like, no, he's not that guy that's just saying that. Will Barton doesn't talk unless he feels confident saying that, and he doesn't give guys props unless they earn it. And that's what I love about it. We heard Jamal Murray, we heard Nikola Jokic. Both guys said this about Bol Bol. He's a hard worker. He's a competitor. He wants to win. That was the knock on Bol Bol coming into the draft. Everybody saw the talent. Everybody saw the upside. Nobody believed he was going to reach it. So the fact that you have the leaders of this team, Barton, Murray, and Jokic, all talking about Bol Bol's work ethic, on top of all the other things we're hearing, that's why I'm buying it. I mean, you can read those tea leaves. I think they're pretty clear to read.
And Barton's kind of like a great cheerleader too, right? I mean, if he probably knows that that's the knock on Bol, and if he sees glimpses of encouragement, he's going to let Bol know. He's going to make sure we know that Bol knows, and that's one of the things I like about him. And
people.
Go ahead, Eric. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, people passed on Bol because of the medicals. I would say more than anything, right?
No.
Like they're just. No. You think it was all like
it was all of it. It was all of it. Yeah, it was. When you get an elite prospect, especially when they're unique like Bol, like unique physically, you worry about injury. You worry about those things. But more than anything, when you see talent, this league is all about what players do with their talent. All of these guys were at one point the number one player in the country or the number one players on their team or whatever. It's okay. This guy's really talented. He has a great upside, but you have to give everything in order to be a great player. It doesn't matter how talented you are. You have to give everything. And I think that's why people passed on him. It was all of it, but I think this is just a talented guy that doesn't truly love basketball. These were some of the reports, at least I heard from, people covering the draft and people, just off-record conversations, different things. They didn't think he was ever going to come close to actualizing his potential.
Interesting.
And look, when you talk to Bol Bol, I do think this is a kid to me that comes off a little young for his age. Maybe he's just a timid person. I think in general, that's definitely the case. But that timidity probably factors in, right? When these GMs are interviewing players and making these decisions, is this guy cut out for the life? That's a real question you have to ask, especially with guys like Bol, where, look, the talent's not really the question. Denver's done a great job with getting guys lately and getting the most out of them or convincing them that this is their opportunity and to buy in. So if Bol Bol's next in line, I mean, this is a hypecast. We've made a lot of jokes, but it's hard to undersell how big that would be. And Bol Bol, it's crazy to think of Denver as one of these places now, but it's one of the places in the league where a talented player slides in the draft, but he ends up in Denver. Good for them.
And by the way, Jokic today in his presser gave mixed reviews for Bol Bol. I mean, he said he's incredibly talented, and that some of the stuff he can do is crazy, but that he's like, it's all going to, and that he said that he had a great attitude and that he was really competitive. So those are all the things that you really want to hear. But then this is the thing that I think has made Jokic go from just a talented guy to one of the best players in the NBA is I think he realized it. You have to put in the work. You guys remember Jokic's sophomore season? I asked Kevin Durant about Jokic. I will always remember this interview. Yep. And I felt like he was talking to Jokic through the media, and he kind of smiled and he laughed and he's like, he's an incredible player. What he's got to learn is that you got to carry your team every night and the work that goes in to when you know that you have to do that. And I think what he was saying was, yeah, he's talented, but there's a lot of dudes that are talented. Let's find out if he's one of the dudes that pushes himself. And I think that's what Jokic was saying again today when he was answering my question. That's what he was saying was he's really good. So he's got half of it. We'll see over the next 2-3 years if he has the other half of that equation that's going to get him to actualize it. And at least early reviews sound very, very positive.
It can sound very silly to just, like, this is a hype cast, but it's all right. What if Bol Bol and MPJ hit their ceiling? Well,
Stop grounding it. Just go with it,
What a
baby.
great scenario. But think about what this team has been come to, which is the beginning of that Warriors dynasty. The shifts in play underneath the surface before it happened.
100%.
A lot of it is perfect storm luck.
Yep.
They got Draymond in the second round. They didn't have to pay Curry right away because of the ankles. Everything just lined up. Look, it's unlikely, but you can sort of look at MPJ sliding the next year, Bol Bol sliding. If both of those guys hit, you go, yeah, that was the perfect storm. That's when they went from that fun Golden State team that gives the Lakers a hard time to maybe the next 3-title team.
Because people have to remember that Michael Porter Jr. as a high school prospect was not just good for that class. He was one of the best ones since LeBron. Like, he was a dominant high school player. Now, of course, he had 2 back surgeries and missed 2 years of basketball. That's why he fell. But when you talk about a perfect storm, it's not like, oh, yeah, they got this good player that just, a Vince Carter caliber high school player that happens to be good. No, they got one of the 5-6 best players over the last 20 years from that draft class to drop to them, and now we'll see if he can actualize that. With Bol Bol, 7'2", and legitimately just incredible touch. He might have better touch than Jokic does. Jokic for a 7'4", ball just always falls into the basket. Bol Bol might have better touch somehow. I mean, that skill set is so unique.
He is definitely one of those guys that, like, he was definitely good at beer pong the first time he played. Definitely good at ping pong, tennis. Just every time he has a ball in his hands, you're like, that thing is going exactly where he wants it to go.
Exactly. Oh my God.
And that's what I love. When you're 7'2", sorry, Eric, to cut you out, but when you're 7'2", just like, you can get a little jump hook, not a sky hook, just a little jump hook off, because if you have a guy 6'10" or 6'11" guarding you, and you're 7'2" with that reach, the guy has to jump so early to anticipate blocking it. If he can just get open, from 6-7 feet, he's going to have nice little floaters that he's just so good at.
Who do you think is more likely to hit their ceiling?
I have rabies, just to be clear.
Between Bol Bol and MPJ.
Say again. I'm sorry.
Who's more likely to
hit their ceiling? If they both hit their ceilings, great. If you had to say, look, they're lucky if they get one. Which one is your money on?
Ooh, I would go. I think I'd go MPJ. We've seen it. Like we've seen like the high, not even his height, obviously, but like we've seen what it can look like when things are like really going. Like, I mean, Bol. I don't know, man. We are existing in like the greatest moment of Bol Bol hype at the moment. Like we've never seen him. We've never seen him. All we have are these like unbelievable clips on the internet. We have players starting to hype him up. This is the sweetest moment. Like, this is. I have no idea where this can go. It doesn't feel like it can
he scores 25 points in Indiana, because that's the MPJ thing was all hypothetical. It was all hype.
Yeah,
it was all if they're lucky. Then you're watching that game. I mean, I'm sliding off my couch thinking, like, the barrier is health or playing time. There's no other ifs. There's no other ifs. And this is that dude. And so if you get... I'm not saying Bol Bol's going to get there, but the first time he puts 25 points up in a game, you better believe this fan base is going to let the lines
God.
So I think MPJ is like more dynamic, right? Like he can score at 3 levels. He can put the ball on the floor. The rebounding, we know the athleticism. Bol Bol is 7'2", and like we think it has elite touch and elite 3-point shooting, and I just keep thinking back to guys like Ryan Anderson, who were a real weapon in this NBA very, very recently, because they were elite shooters and because they were so tall that you had to guard them so closely. Well, to me, Bol Bol, if he can just get to an adequate level at all the other aspects of the game, but adds nothing else, no handle, no rebound, nothing else, just stand out there and shoot threes like Ryan Anderson did and grab some boards because you're so tall. That's a useful weapon. Maybe it's off the bench or whatever, but Bol, we've also seen Bol with a handle, and I've heard that his handle is really impressed. We've also seen Bol throw some of these passes. We've heard about his pass, and then we've seen him block shots. I mean, that's the one thing that he does. He's just so tall that he's gonna block like 2, 3, 4 shots a game just by virtue of the fact that he's so freaking tall.
It's true. That is an A+ hot take right there.
I'm gonna pass out. Like, this is too much. Can we take like a break or something? It's too much.
But it's just the KD rule. It actually applies to both of them. When KD would catch the ball on the elbow, this was early, before KD added the handle, before he added all those other pieces to his game, he could catch the ball on the elbow, kind of turn and face, and just slightly fall away, and you just couldn't block it. Like, you put the hand up, and you're like, okay, contested 2 or whatever. But he was so tall and so good at it that it didn't matter. That was an A- shot that didn't even require anything.
God damn, what did we say, 10.5 for his points? I'm going triple over. Quadruple over.
Bol Bol is 3 inches taller than him with a higher release on his jumper. Like, there's a chance Bol Bol is going to be a guy you can just give it to on the block or on the elbow, and it's like, oh, worst case scenario, he has an A- fall away, like right now,
right?
That he's really good at.
And he was watching KD footage on his own time in his room just to get Eric all hot and bothered. The Nuggets have 2 Kevin Durants. They have rebound fetish Kevin Durant and block fetish Kevin Durant.
Oh my God! I can't. I have to cancel one of those subscriptions. I can't keep them both up. That's crazy.
Also, you know what Jokic loves? Great shooters. We're talking about giving Jokic the theoretical best team you can give Jokic. Everybody on the court can shoot, and you have great defense around them. Well, these guys aren't great defensive players, but they're both 7 feet tall, and they combine. Like, I'm telling you, it's not that hard to find a shooting guard and a point guard who can shoot the 3. So if you already have a 3 and a 4, you've done the hard part.
Malone's gonna inexplicably DNP his ass.
Oh, he's not even getting it. He's not getting in any of these games. Even if he'll run 4 players out there.
I think about Bol in like the dunker spot. Just these little like Jokic double team, just flick over the top of his head. Like, that's it. That's all it takes.
Well, you saw the dunk on Jamal Murray, right? When they got switched. And just the way he dunks it, like before, he didn't jump up, cock it back, and then dunk. His arms are so long that he dunks it almost before he leaves the ground. And
right.
Yeah, those are what made Kenneth Faried so dynamic alongside Jokic was that he could go from catching the ball to dunking it so quick because he was the fastest jumper in the NBA. But Bol Bol's going to be the fastest jumper in the NBA because he only has to jump 2 inches.
Yeah, it's going to be lit.
Wow, that's science. That's even a guess. Like you can't beat that. That's what's going to happen.
Can I tell you guys that I actually also do buy into this own hype? I know this is the hype cast, but I'm telling you, with MPJ, you guys already know it. I already think we always have to put that injury caveat on because who knows. But to me, that's the thing that's going to hold him back is injuries, not the other parts of it. He plays, so in my opinion, he's the Nuggets' second best player as early as next season, but certainly the year after that. Bol Bol, we'll see it, but the skill set is there that if he gets the opportunity, he does grow into what he's supposed to be. That team is, I'm sorry, that's such a dynamic trio.
Well, we are. Go ahead. I was just going to say,
go ahead, Eric, go, please.
We are at a crossroads as Nuggets fans, as a Nuggets franchise, where we are either going to find out the truth of Nug life, where we have all of these things coming together, and we're either going to watch them all fall off a cliff, and Nug life is going to be realized, and we're going to know for fact that is what we are saddled with as Nuggets fans, or we're going to break the curse in such triumphant and magical fashion, and I cannot wait. I think it's going to be that one. That's what I would put my money on.
To me, that's what's so fun about this segment. Well, of course, if they both hit their ceilings, that's a hype cast. Every team in the league could take their best two. Well, it actually wouldn't be as dope as this hype cast. Best 2 prospects. But there's levels to this. Like, of course, none of us are saying, "Hey, buckle up for 4 straight titles. Put your money down."
Right. Of course, yeah.
I am. I'm saying.
But
that.
do we
Buckle
think
up.
that either of these guys could get there? We think that both of these guys could get there. And
right,
so I bring up that Warriors example not as a fantasy, but as a practical, like something that happened, as something that's on the table.
Everybody laughed. I mean, the same thing. The Warriors were sort of like the fake team that nobody took. They got lucky to go as far as they did in the playoffs and this and that. And then next thing you know, they won a championship in 67 games. I mean, I don't think that'll happen with Denver. But if you want to talk fantasy, this isn't even the fantasy. You're forgetting Jeremy Grant as a part of this, who's I think a dynamic role player, but more importantly, a long boy.
The longest boy.
You're actually moving everybody up a position.
You're right. I sold them short.
You sold them a little short.
You sold the long boys short?
Unbelievable.
Elite teams need role players that are like, okay, you just stay in my lane. And Jeremy Grant could be that guy who's also, by the way, 6'11" with incredibly long arms and legs and jumps really fast and really high. Like that, to me, that's the fantasy. Add him to the equation.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm gonna need a.
Brandon, come on.
Break.
Can we take?
I think the hype is sufficiently generated.
Can we let some air into this hot box, please?
Guys, let's wrap things up with another edition of NBA Bubble Contract Price is Right.
Oh, wow. I thought we had theme music for this.
Let me see if I have it.
I thought we listened to it. I thought we listened to a lot of stock music to find this.
This is going to be a great segment because I'm already not sure if I did the first one already last time. But we'll find out. Okay, let's bring up the first face. If you have it, if you don't, I'll do it blind. Danny Green, Los Angeles Laker. How much he making this season?
Under the table or agreed in contract?
All of his dealings.
We'll go over the table for now.
I thought it was like a pretty cheap deal because he's joining his buddy there. I thought it was like $7 million. And then he's starring in Space Jam for $28 million for a short cameo.
To be one of the monsters.
Eric, what do you
I'm going to guess he is at 12.5 million.
False. Eric was closer though.
Hell yeah.
14 and a
All right, so he's
half.
not.
Wait, can we look at his picture again really quick? Can we bring his picture up? Kale, or can you bring his photo up? Is that a basketball on his elbow?
It does appear to be. It does appear.
Has he created a 3-dimensional basketball tattoo on his elbow?
Hey,
Okay.
That's enough Danny Green.
Off we go.
Marcus Morris of the Los Angeles Clippers. I don't think they're paying him this money. It would be the Knicks that are paying him this money. But he's owed how much in this season, 2019-2020? Adam?
$16 million.
16.
He's good.
Wow. Is he the good Morris twin?
Well, Markieff was the better one, but I think Marcus might be the better one now.
Kind of
it's kind of flat. It's kind of It's
really?
Kind of
I thought there was like one clear cut Morris
Markieff was
brother.
the more like creator guy. Marcus more like a good role player, but I think it's kind of switched. Marcus, I like Marcus.
I think Marcus is the better one. I could be wrong.
All right,
Check us.
Yeah.
No, I'm telling you guys the answer.
I'm gonna $16 million.
What did Adam say?
16.
Okay, great.
$18 million. $18 million. $1.
Adam's your big winner. He's making $15 million.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah.
We both got it. I guess the same thing.
He plays down in Orlando. Not a long trip to the bubble.
Oh boy.
Nikola Vucevic. How much is he making? How much is he making this year?
All-star, right?
Okay, I'm gonna say 25 million.
Read him.
Yeah, he's
good. He's good.
He is good. He's 27 million. 27 million.
Weedham gets it. 28
20.
Oh, wow.
Man, this guy knows his contracts.
Yeah. I'll hand out these terrible contracts all day.
He used to play in Utah. He used to give Nikola Jokic a hard time, but he gone. Derek Favors. How much does he make? Derek Favors.
I'm gonna go $18 million.
First off, are we positive he's not still on the Utah Jazz? I only know him to be on the Utah. I swear he's always been on the Utah Jazz.
He's a Pelican.
I think he gave the Nuggets a hard time before New Orleans too. So
he did. That was the real problem with that.
He's the real Jokic stopper.
Yeah.
I remember sort of pining over being able to get Derek Favors on our team and like the mistakes we made that prevented us from getting Derek Favors. So all of that to say that he's currently making $13 million.
$16 million even for Derek Favors.
What did Adam guess?
I don't remember.
18, I think.
Oh.
He's the one.
Yeah.
That's closer. But you went over. Yeah, the price is right.
Perpetually catching checks, not always getting buckets. It's Solomon Hill. How much he made in 2019-2020?
Oh, wow.
He's not there anymore, is he? Is he Solomon Hill?
I think he's a Grizzly now.
I think he's
Holy
no,
cow.
he's a Heat. I think he's a Heat. I think he's a
that's
Heat.
right. Yep, that's right.
Solomon Hill, I'm going to go $12 million. I think he gets paid a lot.
Dude, look, bring that Solomon Hill picture back up really quick.
Not as good as the Jamal Fro.
I was just going to say, this is like if everything goes wrong in Jamal Murray's life, this is what we get. So Solomon Hill is making $6 million per year.
Adam's real close. It's 750K.
Man, I'm telling you, I know my Solomon Hill.
It's a lot of money.
It's unbelievable.
Let's go with a guy who's either killing the Nuggets, helping the Nuggets, often in the same game, usually even in the same quarter.
Wow.
It's Jordan Clarkson. Adam Mares, how much is Jordan making
God, too much.
in 2019-2020?
too much. I'm gonna go with $6 million. I'll go 7 million.
Oh, I would have guessed. I will guess like $12 million. I think he's much higher than that.
Yeah, it's Eric, and he's even higher. He's just shy of $14 million.
Wow.
Adam, you're not ready for this GM game, son.
Wow.
Like you're not. You keep.
I almost went
putting
lower.
You keep putting out like pretty reasonable numbers for these players, and not me. I'm ready to pay them what they think they're worth.
I would not take Jordan Clarkson on a two-way.
You wouldn't? He was like pretty good. He was pretty good when he went to what was it, Portland? Where'd he go last year? Lakers?
Hey,
whatever.
That's all I got, guys. And I think that's it for
first time anyone's ever bragged. I know Mike Sullivan
fun episode. We appreciate you hanging. To recap, Gary, Torrey, just awaiting a cardiac test. They are clear through quarantine. Nikola Jokic already has 9 titles, I believe, by our last count.
That's right. He does have 9
And
titles.
so let's add 3 more for MPJ and Bol Bol future. So that's 12. So there you go. Buckle up for a bright future, guys.
The long boys, baby. The long boys.
Hey, shouts to all of you for watching on YouTube, liking, commenting. We appreciate you. We love you. We'll do it all again tomorrow.
No DNBA tomorrow.
Oh, we won't do it all again tomorrow.
Because we have a winner's lounge.
Oh,
We have a winner's lounge. It has been
think
nothing
about
but
that.
DNBA shows for 4+ months, and tomorrow no DNBA show. Winner's lounge. Can't wait.
To be clear,
A
it's a
preemptive winner's lounge.
regardless of the final.
yeah, totally. And the winners are us. We win tomorrow.
It might be a loser's lounge. You're right. Good point.
Hey, we'll talk to you tomorrow night. Basketball is back. Go Nugs. Have fun. Stay safe. Be safe.
Go.